Speaker Michael Madigan sought to obtain from ComEd jobs, vendor subcontractors, and ultimately a board position for his associates, including precinct captains who operated in his legislative district. Commonwealth Edison admitted that they paid person after person who was associated with Speaker Michael Madigan thousands of dollars, even though those Madigan associates did little or no work. Commonwealth Edison also admitted that several of its executives and agents knew the purpose of these payments, and that was to influence and reward Michael Madigan in connection with his official duties. Let me say that again. One of the largest utilities in the nation paid over $1.3 million in bribes to influence or reward the Speaker of the Illinois House of Representatives, Michael Madigan, in connection with the advancement and passage of legislation favorable to ComEd in the General Assembly. In a state that has long witnessed and suffered from scandal and corruption.
Ladies and gentlemen, this special investigating committee was created pursuant to House Rule 91, following the filing of a petition signed by Minority Leader Jim Durkin, who is present here today with his counsel, Mr. Ron Safer, Representative Spain, and Representative Chesney. This case is unique to previous special investigating committees in that the member that is subject of the petition has not been accused by federal prosecutors of any criminal activity. For the record, the committee will determine the schedule and will provide the public and Speaker Madigan with notice of all hearings. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you will give to this committee will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you, Mr. Glockner, and welcome.
So I came here today because it's very important to ComEd and to Exelon that we cooperate to the extent possible with the committee's efforts. My role at the company is the executive responsible for our compliance and audit program is to help ensure that going forward we act in the most ethical and legally compliant manner possible. Part of that role has involved putting in place a series of ethics and compliance reforms since I joined the company. But part of that is also making sure that we continue to be as cooperative as possible with those in the public sector and others who are attempting to get to the truth of what happened at ComEd.
You've testified here today that you signed the deferred prosecution agreement. Is it your testimony here today that Commonwealth Edison admitted to hiring individuals and firms that did little or no work for ComEd in an effort to influence public official A?
Yes.
Is it your testimony here today that Commonwealth Edison admits in a statement of facts that it did not enforce Exelon's code of conduct?
Is that beginning in or around 2017, public official A sought the appointment of an associate to the ComEd Board of Directors, hereinafter referred to as Board Member 1. Public official A's request was communicated by individual A to CEO 1. In or around May 2018, in response to internal company opposition to the appointment of Board Member 1, CEO 1 asked individual A if public official A would be satisfied if CEO 1 arranged for Board Member 1 to receive a part-time job that paid an equivalent amount of money to a board member position, namely $78,000 a year. Individual A told CEO 1 that public official A would appreciate it if CEO 1 would keep pressing for the appointment of Board Member 1, and CEO 1 agreed to do so. In or around September 2018, CEO 1, who by this time had been promoted to an executive position within Exelon Utilities, in which capacity CEO 1 maintained oversight authority over ComEd, assured individual A that CEO 1 was continuing to advocate for the appointment of Board Member 1 made at public official A's request because, quote, "You take good care of me and so does our friend," and bracketed public official A, and I will do the best that I can to take care of you, end quote. On or about April 25th, 2019, CEO 1 advised individual A by text message, quote, just sent out board approval to appoint board member 1 to ComEd board, end quote. The following day, April 26th, 2019, ComEd filed a notice with the United States Securities and Exchange Commission stating that board member 1 had served as a director of ComEd since April 2019. Although ComEd and Exelon conducted due diligence on board member 1 and ultimately determined he was qualified for a board position, no one at ComEd or Exelon recruited board member 1 to serve as a director, and ComEd did not interview or vet other outside candidates for the vacant board seat. ComEd appointed board member 1 in part with the intent to influence and reward public official A in connection with public official A's official duties. So that's what ComEd admits with respect to that episode.
Thank you, Mr. Glockner. And that pretty much is the long version of my previous question.
If we take a look at pages A3 to A4, this starts to go through how Commonwealth Edison arranged for various associates of Michael Madigan, including the political allies and individuals who perform political work for Michael Madigan, to obtain jobs, vendor subcontracts, and monetary payments associated with those jobs and subcontracts. Did ComEd have an understanding that doing these types of favors for public official A would influence public official A or dispose public official A more favorably towards ComEd?
Yes, ComEd has acknowledged that in the DPA.
Okay. All right, let's jump to the conversation with John Hooker that took place in subparagraph C on page A7.
Well, in this particular context, the speaker is indicating that he is structuring those payments not for some business reason, but for some other questionable motive.
All right. Now, if we go to subpart D on page A7 of the Deferred Prosecution Agreement, it says between, in or around 2011 and in or around 2019, during the same time frame that ComEd was making payments to public official A, Madigan's associates, and extending other benefits for the purpose of influencing and rewarding public official A, meaning Madigan, ComEd was also seeking public official A, meaning Madigan's support for legislation that was beneficial to ComEd, including EIMA and FEJA, that would ensure a continued favorable rate structure for ComEd. ComEd acknowledges that the reasonably foreseeable anticipated benefits to ComEd of such legislation exceeded $150 million.
Yes, that I would agree with.
All right.